like if you are stuck somewhere, ask for help. Okay. I'll say anything that you have written in your resume.
Okay.
You should know it. You should not assume anything in an interview. And if you're assuming anything, you should
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, fine, sir.
Okay, just first let me introduce myself. Okay, so I'm Aaquib and I've basically around 8 years of working experience. So I primarily work on backend web services. So right now I'm working as a developer at Adobe.
So my name is Ayush Aggrawal, and sir, currently I'm pursuing my M.Tech from IIT Roorkee in computer science and engineering stream.
Okay.
And apart from that, I have also worked with Infosys Limited with 2 years as system engineer. And my current CGPA is 9.2.
Okay.
And yeah, that's it.
Just tell me the most interesting project you have worked on. Like, it can be from your college or from Infosys, anything.
So from the learning point of view, like whatever I have learned was new. So it was my internship project, where I worked on data engineering part. Or we can say means it was only 2 months project, and for a few months we were given training. So I worked on the SQL orchestration engine. Yeah. So
what was the interesting part in that?
okay, so like we have automated the SQL using the DBT tool, and we worked on the open source technology. So there were like certain challenges. You are not going to get support from any like supporting team or any technical team. You have to search by yourself. You have to research. We have used many open source tools like Spark, DBT, data build tool, and mainly I worked on the SQL orchestration, and also used EC2 for cluster management, because whenever you are trying to run big data, so you run on the clusters, and that was managed using EC2, Amazon EC2.
I think we should start with the interview part. Okay. Do you have access to that CoderPad? So okay, I'll start with a. So you would be coding in Java, I assume, right?
Yes, Aaquib,
okay.
Yes.
Okay. So are you aware about iterators in Java?
Iterators, yes.
Okay. So if you're not, like, I can tell you, like, basically, you can assume like iterator basically has two methods, has, next, and next, and it's basically used to iterate over an object or over a list of objects. Okay. So you may be aware about the iterator for an array or a list, right? Okay. So what we try to do that we'll write a custom iterator. Okay.
Okay.
And what the custom iterator is going to do is that it's going to take array as input. I'm going to write in examples for understanding. Okay, so the iterator would have an list or array as the input, and it would have elements. For example, 8,8, 7,3, and 5,1. Okay, so the first element, so they occur in pairs. So the first element is the actual element, and the element next to it represents its frequency. So it means that 8,8 means that 8 occurs 8 times. Okay.
Okay.
6, 7, 8. Then the next number is 7,3. So then it means that 7 occurs 3 times.
Okay.
And similarly, 5 occurs 1 time. Okay.
Okay.
So the input to the iterator would be this array. And we need to implement two methods, basically that what exists in iterator, has, next, and next.
Okay.
Okay. So if you have any questions regarding, like if you've not understood the question, I'll repeat.
No, till this part I understood.
Yeah, so this is the question. You just need to write a custom iterator. You just need to write the code for it.
So what I need to print is like the output as 8 times, 7 times. I need to print it, or
I can give you an example. So like this is a class custom iterator. Okay, it implements. So now iterator has two methods. One is has, next. So this is Boolean. And another is it will return integer. Okay, so we need to implement these two methods in this custom iterator. Yeah.
Okay, so it accepts input as an array, right?
So yeah, so you can assume this has a constructor, custom iterator, and this can have a list of integers.
Okay.
Okay, and so we need to write these three. Yeah, go ahead.
Like for basic iterator, assume there is an array of means length 5.
Okay.
So I have a question that simply that iterator will simply check for if has next is true, then if there is a next element, then has next returns true. If there is simple iterator, right?
Oh, correct. Okay, so just one simple question. Are you aware about the different type of databases that exist, right?
Means relational databases or any kind of?
Yeah, so there's one kind is relational database. Do you know this, if there is any other kind of database?
Yeah, so I have heard of some databases like Cassandra, and which is a part of NoSQL database.
So you're comfortable with SQL? You've worked on SQL? You've worked on SQL?
Yes.
What's the basic fundamental difference between a SQL database, relational database versus a NoSQL database?
Actually, sir, I am not like that much into the other type of database.
Okay, so give any advantage of using a SQL database. So why do you think, like, are you aware about ACID properties?
ACID properties is atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. First of all, I want to like know the feedback, like what should I not do, what I have done, like where can be the improvements.
Okay, so I will provide a detailed feedback, but just like I'll let you know, like in general, like if you have any questions or doubts, so it's like always good to start with the questions first. You should not assume anything like during an interview. Like you should consider like maybe I missed specifying some question to you, so you should not assume anything in an interview. And if you're assuming anything, you should tell, okay, so I am assuming this and I'm going to start. And like if you are stuck somewhere, ask for help. Okay, and it's always good like to iterate the thing again in your mind, like saying it loud, like I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this next. So basically it will help you to understand, okay, so like if you think something and you write something, and sometimes it happens like if you say it loud, you will understand, okay, this is the next thing I need to do. The first thing that is important is to understand the problem. That's the first thing. Second, before we write something down, it's like it's good to discuss something. Okay, that's what is in my mind, and that's what I'm going to write. Okay, and if we both agree, then you can start writing the code.
Okay, sure. Like if I didn't know about SQL, I have only heard of like NoSQL, but how it works. So should I say it or not?
Okay, there's two things to it. I'll tell you. Okay. I'll say anything that you have written in your resume.
Okay.
You should know it. That's first thing. If you're not comfortable with it, you should not write it. Okay. One thing. Second thing, if let's say I ask you some questions and you're not confident and you're not aware, just say it out loud that I'm not comfortable with it. I've not worked on it. So there are a lot of other things. So the interviewer can focus on other things. What will happen if you say, okay, I know something, I may ask something, you may not be aware of it, and it will just waste time. So it's always good if you're not comfortable, say it out loud that you don't know it. Bye bye, Ayush.
Thank you, Aaquib. Bye.